Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be Marvel's favorite web-slinging superhero? Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered takes you on a swing in Peter Parker's spandex as it follows him and his friends on a race to save New York City from some of his most infamous adversaries. Spider-Man takes place in a beautifully realized open-world replica of Manhattan. A new original story was written from the ground up with loose references and homages to the source material. There are complex themes such as revenge, sacrifice, and duality explored throughout as the story attempts to avoid the typical good versus evil cliché. The motives of the characters are clear and relatable within the given context, even for villains, which might make the player wonder now and then if they are fighting on the right side. This humanization adds depth to the characters and helps make the story that much more engrossing. The pacing feels consistent for the most part, with the main storyline being divided into missions that feel like episodes in a TV series. There are clear direction and escalation towards the climax that gives the game satisfying momentum. The gameplay progresses along with the story, introducing new mechanics and combining them as the game goes on. One of the first components the player is introduced to is the web slinging, which is brilliant. The basic design itself is simplistic, with the player able to attach and detach their webs from buildings by holding and releasing the trigger. The player can also pull themselves to a ledge and run along the walls without complicated input. Everything feels fluid, along with the attention to details in character motion and speed presentation. Combat is also fairly simplistic, with the fundamentals being attack and dodge. This simplicity allows for a sense of rhythm and fast-paced fluidity, just like the web slinging. Gadgets and skill upgrades add a welcome depth to combat to keep things from getting stale. Another major gameplay component is stealth. In some situations, Spider-Man is required to take enemies out without being noticed. In others, the player sometimes controls MJ or Miles for either investigative reporting or high-stake errands. The player must utilize gadgets, the environment, and everything else in their arsenal to make the best out of these situations. While the game is mostly centered around these major components, variety is added in the form of various mini-games that are either entirely new or a variation of a major component. The game's main missions, side missions, and activities will be some combination of major and minor components. The player can gain levels by gaining XP from everything they do, which allows them to unlock new suits and invest in new skills. Players must complete activities to gain tokens, which they can invest into upgrading their suits and gadgets. While the game tries to keep things interesting with the variety and combination across missions and activities, sometimes it does get tedious with no clear motivation to do things apart from the main storyline. Fast travel is available, but web slinging is so fun that it rarely feels needed. The gorgeous fictional Manhattan is full of things to see, and the city shines differently according to the time of day. The game is tidy from a graphical standpoint, from the fully realized environments to detailed character motions in and out of cutscenes, of which there are plenty. The quality of the cutscenes is even more noteworthy than the quantity, with good composition and solid voice acting performances. Music is another aspect of Spider-Man that can't be overlooked. The main theme starts playing every time the player lifts off the ground or jumps off the roof, adding to the sense that they are about to do something epic. Although there may be small elements that some players may not be too fond of, Spider-Man is great at making the player invested in the story and feel like a superhero. I give Spider-Man a pizza with extra pepperoni. It tastes great and fills you up, but can sometimes be too much. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Peace.